What's up, guys? It's Triple A MMA here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Arnold Allen's move to lightweight. There's been stuff going around that he's moving up to lightweight, and he's my favourite fighter, so I wanted to discuss it. It's not confirmed, but it's not unlikely either. I can definitely see it happening. And even if it doesn't happen, it's a fun thing to talk about. I'm going to be discussing stuff like pros of moving up, he's got lighter man skill, as well as cons, he's definitely giving up some inches in reach, and also potential matchups. But let's not waste any more time. Let's just head straight into it. All right, we're going to go over pros and cons. One of the first pros is lighter man skill. This guy, people forget, man. This guy had a competitive fight with Max Holloway. 48-47, I scored it. This was Max kind of after he just whooped Calvin Kattar and Yair Rodriguez. And then he also went on to knock out TKZ and absolutely school Justin Gaethje. So not a bad version of Max Holloway at all. The next point is kind of like wrestling-based shit. Like, he's going to be a lot stronger moving up to lightweight, like in the wrestling. Like, he's going to be hard to hold him down. Movzar, who's like an amazing grappler, couldn't hold him down at 145. 10 extra pounds of muscle. I don't see anyone holding him down, to be honest. And he's 5'7". It's going to be hard to get to his hips. For guys like Gamrot, for guys like Armin's kind of an exception because he's also 5'7". And then Paddy Pimblett too. He's going to struggle to get down to Arnold's hips. However, it's kind of like a double-edged sword because if they get into a bad position, they take him down and put him in half guard or mount or something, I think Arnold probably would have a pretty tough time getting up. So there is that. Now moving on to the cons section, there's durability. He got dropped by Max at a point when he wasn't particularly powerful. And yeah, Max did go on in his next fight to knock out TKZ, but I think anyone in the top 5 probably would have done the same. Not to mention, Movzar also drops him with a jab. And I get there's those flash knockdown things that can happen to anyone, but it's not a great look. And then there's the whole thing of height and reach. Arnold, he doesn't have the frame for 155. He just doesn't. He's going to be giving up so much range. You don't want to give a range advantage to guys like Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. Paddy Pimlett's got some long kicks. You don't want to give a range advantage to BSD. He's so powerful. And Dan Hooker's in there, and he's long and rangy too, and Arnold dispatched of him pretty easy, so maybe it won't be a problem, but it's definitely something to think about. Next up is power. Arnold's not exactly a powerful guy. Took him a lot to knock out Dan Hooker, and to be fair, he did it. He was hurting Dan Hooker a lot. And he's not like he never drops people. He dropped Yusuf, he dropped Kattar, and he had a fight with Meza, where he did put him out cold, but it was the last second, so it's technically a unanimous decision. But he put him out cold. Yeah, usually if you're going to not have the reach advantage, you at least want the power advantage. And if Arnold's not going to have either, it's going to be a problem, you want one or the other. But next I'm going to go into matchups. So yeah, let's just go to that. First matchup I wanted to talk about, because a bunch of people are saying book it. I got specifically asked to cover this one. Arnold versus Fiziev. And I don't think this is that close, A lot of people were suggesting it, but I think Arnold would piece up Fiziev. They're the same size, but Arnold's a way better striker, and people are going to call me crazy for that, but who's this guy outstruck? He's got an early stoppage on Moicano, went to decision with Bobby Green, and beat RDA. No. You do not get to be called like an elite striker. And Arnold's going tit for tat with Max Holloway, and Giga Chikadze, who's a good striker. Arguably better than Fiziev if we're going tit for tat, skill for skill. And then there's the wrestling game too. If Arnold wants to take him down, especially with the extra muscle mass at 155, I think he can. This is not the competitive fight a lot of you guys think it is. Arnold Allen, 30-27 or 29-28, pretty easily, I think. Uncle Rufus is next on the chopping block. Arnold Allen versus Justin Gaethje. Both very good boxers, both have a good kickboxing. Neither really wrestle that much, so this fight would definitely be on the feet. Justin Gaethje's got good leg kicks. Arnold's just got good kicks all around. And yeah, they're both good boxers. Maybe Gaethje's actually probably a bit better. Arnold could definitely have success with forward pressure and with the speed advantage. And I think his kicking game is probably a bit better. But Justin Gaethje, he's so experienced. He's got his traps and setups are amazing. I can definitely see him catching Arnold at some point. I don't think he'd knock him out. I think Justin Gaethje could win a pretty clear decision. Similar to Max did, but in less of a skill way and more kind of, imposing his physicality. But Arnold could win this. This isn't like super one-sided fight. Either of them could win at 48-47. Yeah, it's my prediction, but I would lean towards Justin Gaethje if I'm not being biased. I did want to cover Arman, but he's literally fighting tomorrow as of right now. So I feel like anything I say would probably just age poorly. He's probably gonna... My prediction is he's gonna win, so I can throw in a prediction here. I think Arman's gonna win by decision. I think it's gonna be kind of uneventful. And I think Ian Gary is also gonna beat Bilal by decision. Those are the predictions for tomorrow. Probably today if you're watching this, maybe even yesterday. But yeah, I'll just throw that in there. But this would be interesting at lightweight if Arnold were to move up. But if Arnold does move up, I mean, the obvious fight is going to happen is Alaquinta. He'll be fighting Alaquinta if he moves up. And that's a tough fight for Arnold. These guys are both really good. Both have... Alaquinta's got some crazy power, so Arnold's got to watch out for that. Alaquinta's wrestling game is insane too. I don't see Arnold winning this. I just see Alaquinta tearing up his calf, taking him down at will, and just messing him up, He's got some good elbows on the ground, crafty jab. It's a tough proposition for Arnold. It's really not a guy I want to see him in there with. But I think that's what's going to happen. It definitely makes the most sense for an Arnold move up. But all of us Arnold fans can pray this doesn't happen, because we wouldn't enjoy that. And we can admit that, I feel a little bit uneasy talking about that. But next up is the 145 matchup. If Arnold does stay down, which I think he will, I think it's likely he fights Gene Silva. And I think Arnold wins that, to be honest. Gene Silva was landing good shots on Diego Lopez, but technically Diego Lopez is not the striker Arnold Allen is. Arnold Allen's a lot better technically than Diego Lopez, but Diego Lopez just has insane power, and it shows because he knocked out Silva after Silva started to style on him. I'm a big Lopez fan. He's my second favourite featherweight. Silva was starting to style on him. But Arnold Allen is a way better striker than Diego Lopez, so he's going to give Silva a lot more problems on the feet, especially like kicking-wise. And Silva's definitely not going to want to go to the ground. Arnold Allen's just going to be able to say no to any takedown attempt. I mean, Movzar couldn't get anything off. He could take him down, and then Arnold would just stand up again. But I acknowledge this is a dangerous fight. Silva's got power. He's got very sharp striking. He's very accurate. And Arnold's durability, I talked about earlier. I can definitely see Silva knocking out Arnold. So I would say this is a 50-50 fight. I would go either Silva by knockout or Arnold by decision. But I kind of hope this happens, because if Arnold goes out and beats Silva, he'll be barking for a title eliminator. Not sure with who. Lauren Murphy maybe in England, or Aljo. But this would be big, so fingers crossed. And that wraps it up. Tried my hardest to not be biased. Might have been a bit biased on the Gaethje fight, but thank you for everyone from TikTok who's going to hopefully come over and watch this. Love you guys. And anyone new, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be very nice. But no pressure. I probably wouldn't after watching that, but it's my first video, so be nice, please. And I don't have anything else to say. Goodbye, guys.